Fun fact for Fairy Month. In Laverre City, which is where the fairy-type gym in Pokemon X and Y is, the clock tower shows 13 hours instead of the usual 12. That's not a mistake, and is actually pretty interesting. So let's talk about that. It all has to do with a number of phenomenons from folklore in the times where people believed in such things like fairies and witches. Some call it the 13th hour, some call it the witch's hour or the devil's hour. But what they all have in common is that for just a few seconds, an hour passes. Sounds weird, but let me explain. Time gets wonky for a few seconds as far as regular humans perceive it, but for those few seconds, fae creatures come out and experience an entire hour. The time this takes place differs depending on where you're looking and which folklore you're listening to, but for example, some say it's just a few seconds between 12:59 and 1 o'clock a.m. Others say it happens sometime between 2 and 3 o'clock a.m., and others 4 o'clock. But it all points to the same thing. These fae creatures and people who are in tune with the supernatural, such as witches, experience a 13th hour. A time where black magic is at its strongest, or a time where the fairy realm and our world combine for just a moment. When the clock strikes 13, you'll be within the fairy's dream. Other games and media have referenced this 13th hour as well, such as Persona and Castlevania, both of which are filled with supernatural things. Speaking of which, it's also a thing in the show Supernatural. Apparently, I haven't watched it. The Haunted Mansion ride in Disneyland also apparently has a 13-hour clock. It's a haunted mansion. It experiences an extra hour where supernatural things occur, or at the very least, the spirit world and our world combine, and supernatural things can leak into the mansion. You see what I mean? It's not exactly a super well-known pop culture thing, but it is definitely a cultural thing that many people creating media like to reference. The SNES game Terranigma also has a 13-hour clock, and it's stated that this is a time that does not exist. No. A time that must not exist. It's a time where supernatural things occur, and supernatural things are blasphemous. So why is the 13th hour referenced in Pokemon? Well, this is also the first fairy-type gym we see also, and really this whole city seems like it's pulled straight from a fairy tale, with the big tree and mushrooms all over. Plus, even the gym itself teleports you from room to room in a dollhouse. And the gym leader's eyes are so strange and uncanny. Trainers often pick up attributes from the Pokemon they use, like mediums being ghost-type users, which changes how they act. But apparently, being a dedicated fairy user causes these sort of effects. As even the other fairy-type trainers, the Fairy Tail Girls, have those strange eyes. Do they perhaps experience this extra hour themselves? Is this whole city built near where the fairy realm connects to their world? Thus, the entire city experiences this 13th hour? Thus, the reason they have it on their clock tower? And this constant in and out of the fairy realm causes some trainers to start gaining some fairy traits themselves, perhaps. That certainly seems to be the case. And that is just a neat little fun fact, a reference that Pokemon made to a not as well-known pop culture-esque thing. I don't know how to end this, so buy my merch! You can only get this shirt for a little while longer, and then it's gone forever. So thanks for watching, and never stop using your noggin.